You fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up!
Hello, welcome to the Rod Uncensored podcast. Today I got a special comedian out of the DMV, Miss Lady Nicole. How you doing today?
How you doing today, King? Thank you for having me on, Mr. Rod.
I appreciate it. I'm just taking one day at a time, slow grinding this comedy dream of mine. But to let the people know a little bit of something about Lady Nicole.
Yes, well, I'm homegrown from DC, straight from Southeast. I'm hood related though. I live on Branch Avenue. I not only do stand-up comedy, but I'm also a laughter therapist. So I really believe in taking people's everyday life and everything that we go through and turning that into a laugh or a giggle just for them to be able to survive and manage and be resistant and get through. So I love what I do. I would just love us to work together. People don't know that comedy is actually volunteer work. It really is. It's either your heart or soul. Either you're in it to make people laugh and smile, or you're not. You know, just like your every other job that people do. So I really just need comedians to know that you are a comedian. Your job is to make people laugh and to feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I this firsthand. I'm only young and I'm still wet behind my ears. Still got the formula in my mouth. I only been doing this 7 months, but it's definitely been therapeutic for me to really dig in that crates and you know what I mean, in my mental of my past trauma and laugh about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that been helping me, even making my moods better at my job, my 9 to 5, and just life in general. I can I can really you know what I mean, self-reflect on the trauma and laugh about it now. Sometimes you don't see it in the past. You can really laugh about the situation. But that's definitely helped me with that, just overall in my life.
Yeah. And people need that, especially us who do that hard work to come out there and regardless of what's going on in our lives, to be able to present and be able to still make people laugh and smile about life, period, despite what we are going through. So, and it's very good for us to be able to do that intentionally for ourselves also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely believe that, like laughter therapy. I think that is really great what you're doing because it's a lot. That's why I came from my uncles. We always used to, you know, we do the dozen and stuff like that, but it'd be also therapeutic because we say something real that we want to got on our hearts, but we can laugh about it. So I feel like always lend an ear, not even if you're in comedy, lend an ear to somebody that's going through something because they might need that to let that out. I feel like that's needed, and I don't think we talk at the Black or brown community about this laughing and letting people be vulnerable and don't try to use it against them and let them just get it out of them. A lot of people just got a lot of things burdening them and they carrying that every day. So it's good just to let them get it out.
Yeah, I'm the lady. Last Monday was my birthday. So I'm
happy belated.
Thank you. I've been 44 for a week now. But I was riding in town and I have a thing about giving money away just to men who were just standing there asking for it. Because women have to do certain things to provide for our families. And most of those things are things that we really don't want to do to get the money. And so I have this little thing about giving men money. But last Last week now he is out there. I see him on the regular. But last week I was playing the birthday bitch song in the car. And I was blasting it, okay, Ron? And he came up to the car asking for that $1. I said, read the car. Read the car. It's my birthday. I said, you owe me money. Well, Rod, guess what happened?
What?
He gave me one of those $2 he just got from that man.
It's not a lot of people gonna do that.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Even though, it's a way that, we do things. That's everybody can't do that. But just to have him think about it. Of course, next time I see him, of course, I'm gonna have to give him $2. But just a touchy way for him to think about that I go every day. I got 4 children. I can't be a fool and you gonna give me your social. But just those things that despite people's situations, I always can get that laugh or that smile. He greatly gave me that $1. And like I said, he sees me all the time. I have never given him $1. But it just, from every day, if you're being there from the beginning with people through their things and not maybe catering to their things, then certain things come back. It comes back to you. So I do comedy so that when I need that laugh, Rod, it'll come. It'll come. That moment where I just need to just take a moment back and just realize maybe how blessed I am, that it could have been worse. It could have been different. And just to bring that to people who some of the things we go through or people go through, to me, it might not seem like the end of the world, but to them, it could seem like the end of the world. And I never want to make anybody feel like whatever they go through is less important than what somebody else went through.
And that's I think sometimes, not to go fully on there, I think the universe put people in your path to show you that it is still people got great sides of them, of kindness. I think this kindness is good to see from anybody. What I mean? That because it's a dying trait of kindness, you don't even see, we all, with just the inflation of how our United States is, you don't see nobody being kind and everybody trying to just get theirs, and people don't even open doors for you. Open the door, people won't even say thank you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So to see that gesture, that man just give you one of his dollars out of his $2 is great to see. People having hearts.
Yeah, and that I can bring that out of people, and that's what what I'm saying. Just like teachers necessarily not gonna get it until they see what their students have become, or did they come back and tell them, how it was. But that same thing for me in comedy, just seeing those people smile, getting that gratification right away. Sugarfoot, I'm on camera. And stuff. And so my daughter. I have a daughter with some severe or multiple disabilities, and so she hung with me today. But that's what started the laugh, is that those ICU visits, parents. I would move up into the hospital. I have everything: hot sauce to oodles and noodles, tuna and mac meatballs, and that parent. I would be that parent that other parents could come to in the ICU, but we needed that laughter there. And that's when I realized that laughter can bring you through so much pain. Not to say that situations are funny, because they're not, but mentally to have to deal with these situations that life throws at us. When you laugh or you take that deep breath, laugh is really like that aha moment. You know what I'm saying? That brings your mind to mentally be able to come up with solutions or creative things to solve that problem. And most people just don't know. Now I'm going to take you left because you said something. Most of my comedy is about my trauma or the things that I go to. So I should have put that. I consider myself a Me Too comedian, meaning that I mostly talk about men and make women feel good about the.
So you're not a Lifetime type of comic though, because you remember back in the '90s, every movie, the man's beating the woman, the husband killing them, trying to kill them. You're not one of them Lifetime comics, right?
No, it ain't Lifetime. My stuff is completely funny.
Okay.
I'm gonna just give you a spell. I don't know if so I love life wouldn't be life if it wasn't for the different people in life. Like I love me some crackheads and some hoes. I really do. And to be politically correct, I'm so sorry. People who use crack and um street workers. So
Okay.
but I love them because I mean without them, those are the ones I get my most laughs about. And like I told you, women do things that we really don't want to do in order to provide for ourselves. And to use our bodies that men already see as we just using what we have in order to make the money. And it's not looked at that way. And for instance, one of my jokes is, hoes have a lot to deal with. They do, along with, they have to deal with dicks I would never do. Okay, Rob? I'm just, they have to deal with the pop out dick, the dirty dick, the drunk dick, the Captain Hook dick. It's just, they people don't realize like all they have to endure to get their few dollars that they are getting. And then if they have a pimp or somebody to watch them, then they gotta pay them a percent of their self-esteem, if you get what I'm saying, all the way,
Yeah.
and so and it's like I said, to put things out there. It's funny that even though certain men don't hear, all they hear is me saying dick. And I dress like I really dress in boy clothes on stage because I have a full figure and because I'm talking about that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's just how much that's why I do it, because the trauma never stops. I was just assaulted a week ago by another comedian, and it brings back all of that trauma back that I have let go. Like it just brings it back to the surface. So here another thing, another traumatic experience for me, and it you think that you have made it to a certain point, and then your mind just floods back with all of those incidents that have happened to you, where you realize that it was just a band-aid on it and it's rebleeding, and so that's why I continue to do what I do, so that we as women are healing with that trauma, or finding ways to deal with it. Like, okay, so I'm considered, I'm a fucker, not a sucker. I will not suck your dick. I will not. It's just, and it's because of the trauma that I've been through. But I decided if I love to have sex, but I love to have sex, and that's where we capping in at. You have to be, kind of upfront about it for people to respect those boundaries, and it's very hard for women to come to that point where you're setting that standard about your life, especially when it comes to sex. And most women don't know how to do that. And it is traumatizing. So I have kudos to you. I have never heard you on stage, Rob, but I am looking forward to um, just hearing your set. Just because, like me, some people don't know exactly that if I'm telling my exact story or my best friend's story or somebody else's story. Your hair not done. Okay. And so those things like that, that is the reason why I do comedy, is to make people feel good about things that the bad things that life has thrown in those that hand that you were dealt, that trauma that everybody just thinks that you should just get over and be all right with, is just, it just doesn't happen that way. And so I use comedy as a way to advocate for that community and to expose myself um, out there, to do things such as this and make sure that I'm there for people to use me in a sense to better themselves.
Yeah, and I feel you on that because I do mine personally. I really do talk about I talk about things from a man perspective. I think the black man is the punching bag to society, right? We can't be vulnerable, but so much, or we're gonna be called weird or a bitch. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I am a human being. I have feelings. Um, the court system is against us. It's a statistic shown. You know what I mean? We don't get. They really don't care about us in general. You know what I mean? So it is a pendulum of us getting hit whack like whack a mole. You know what I mean? Whack a ball like pop up
Yes.
going by the weasel. We get punched so much. So I talk about like that a lot about that. I talk about family court. You know, in my comedy, which is not typical hip hop black comedy. Grab your dick uh, black man comedy. I don't do that. I'm more alternative black comedy. That's what I call it.
Mhm.
Because I try to let my emotions go. I talk about countless things of No Child Left Behind. That was a big thing in my day, where
Mhm.
Bush passed that law and niggas were getting passed and keep on getting passed when their wasn't really ready.
Mhm.
So because they had to get all them schools had to get the numbers of I need this certain amount of kid to go to the next grade. So I talk about that. I got a joke where I talk about I was a valedictorian, but the only six people in my class were nonverbal. So that's why I was a valedictorian. So I
Mhm.
talk about things of my shortcoming with education
Mhm.
and going through that, you know what I mean, and watching some of my friends be, you know what I mean, have a regular, you know what I mean, time in school, and I didn't have that. So I talk about things that we normally don't talk about. You know what I mean? Normally, a
Mhm.
white comic talks about things like that. No, I
Mhm.
don't want to be. It's easy to write the joke, grab my dick. I made the big bitch suck my dick from the back for $20. It's easy to write like that, but to do vulnerable material is more gonna have more impact.
Yes, and and it does, like my ending is a joke I do in Southeast DC, MLK and Malcolm X, where I'm tunnel vision walking to my car. There are no other women in sight. And these youngins are conversing, but the only comment that I heard clear today, as if he was talking directly to me, was the bitches wouldn't suck his dick. And so, Rod, I couldn't help myself. Yes, I was in the midst of the ghetto. But
Hmm.
then I say to him, I say, sir, that's because bitches, which you called them, don't suck little dick. And I mean, right then and there, like that, we are in that moment. I am on the block. There are things that could have went wrong there. You know what I'm saying? But even I'm like in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Hmm.
it's a trigger. It's a trigger because I'm not a roaster. Like I'm not. I just it's not about that. But because you call them bitches and because you're sitting on the block in front of a female, what happened to that respect? There were conversations who else could you be talking to, sir? Like
But it is where the younger women do go use that word a lot, right? So
yeah.
we gotta count, we gotta keep it a
But
buck.
you got what are we to do with Sexy Red on the mic
Yeah, we
talking about?
can't.
I said, oh my God, this is what are we to do? I can't stand that song. And then we go together. Why do you have to tell people y'all go together? And why are you so committed after 3 weeks? See, I had to go through the lyrics of the song. Let me print this out so maybe I can understand. But yeah, they got it, and I'm thank God. Like right now that I have a 12th grader, but she is my mixed child. I thank God I don't have a daughter right now that is into men. It like I'm not ready. This one is young, baby. Stay out the camera. Your hair not done, baby. Uh, uh the baby girl, of course, I don't,
Mhm.
I ain't even
But
trying to think about that now, but to have her now, like God knew I'm not ready. I'm
but
definitely.
it's but it's also we gotta just keep it real about this. It's a lot of situations. You know, what I mean, I had a mom. If my mom had been alive, she's been 65, right? So their generation of respect and building your daughters up is not at that level no more. People don't even talk to their daughters or kids during dinner time. You know what I mean? Everybody go in their own separate room. So when you don't build the respect and teach them, what are you supposed to expect? You know what I
Well,
mean?
that and
I can't
and
even curse in front of my dad. I'm
yeah,
32 years old. I don't curse around my dad. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. It is a different world. I was just talking about that. They were asking me, as a parent because I'm so involved. What is going on? They're not parenting. I have every weekend there are 5 extra children over my house. Do their parents call me? They don't. Do you know where your child? You don't know what goes on in my house. I don't. I it's a whole other world. But I told them in here it's amazing. Though you put them to them standards or that respect, and they will respect each one of those that come here. I don't have to worry about them being in my house when I'm not in this house. Like when I have to leave to go to the store or go take care of business, I do not have to worry about the company that is in this house. But you know, their parent, I don't hang out with any of their parents. You know what I'm saying? To
Hmm.
know that they are at a safe house
Hmm.
and, I don't have a whole bunch of mess going on.
Hmm.
Um, it amazes me. My children not allowed to go nowhere. That's why they can come over here, but you ain't spending the night over nobody's house. And I'm proud to say my children, I held them to a high standard and they have done it. The 2 high schoolers, I have a 12th and 11th grader at HD Woodson. My 12th grader is salutatorian this year, and the 11th grade male is number 6 in his class. So
That's great.
yes, and then I looked at my transcript. I was number 50. Let me shut up. Let
Yeah,
me.
you gotta, and people don't understand, man. It's not. You can't keep on using our environment. Oh man, it's the environment. You just gotta hold your kids to a standard, and we don't. A lot of people don't scared to hold the kids to a standard. You know what I mean? Because I was a fuck up, don't mean you gotta be a fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't let the history keep on repeating itself.
yes, my oldest son, who's a roaster. He is a roaster, and American University like started that career without my permission.
Hmm.
But we actually had a show that I'm trying to bring back, the Comedy Couch, where it's therapeutic for comedians, and us
Hmm.
to have some downtime and to have some fun. Like I said, because where do we have fun? We always giving the fun away to other people.
Hmm.
But having them now, he did not graduate from a high school. I sent him to military school out there in Laurel, the old Oak Hill.
Hmm.
And therefore, but in my house, you need a high school diploma, not a GED. But in this program that I sent him in, he could pass the GED and get a General District of Columbia diploma. So that's what he did. He later on, a year later, he went into the to the Army himself. And he'll be back in January. He's coming off tour. I would love to, we erased all our material because he went into the military and he wanted to have everything cleaned out. But hoping to, bring that connection back with me and my son. And he is 22 years old. And let me tell you, anything that happens, anything, I am the first phone call.
That's good.
And not, and yes, even pregnancies, I had to tell him, he had a pregnancy scare. Next time, don't tell me to like 3 months. Like, I can't deal with that kind of anxiety. I appreciate, that I know, but if you could just hold on until we know for sure 3 months, just, before you tell me. But those type of things, like you said, and how you raise your children and standards. And my children tell me all the time, what you call mother, don't do that. Well, what you call mother, I'm not what you call them mother.
And it's the best thing is to, like, I got a 9-year-old daughter. I got a 7-year-old son. I tell them, don't always ask me for help. Try to figure it out. If it's something to reason. Because you can't be a crush and try to always problem solve for them. They got to figure it out also. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the biggest thing about us. Sometimes we enable our kids too much. And they don't have the skills to, to figure out life. Because we ain't always going to be here. We all got an expiration date. You know what I mean? We ain't no different from milk in the grocery store. You know what I mean? Our number is going to get called. So I think that's another thing, man. But
and preparing them right. And it is a lot of people, our generation, our age, are not even prepared for death or, plots. I don't know what happened to where we act like it really ain't happening. Because you're right. We don't plan for or think about any of that. I didn't think about it till my husband got sick 6 months ago. Like, oh my God, we are not prepared. We are not, like, what? And that's actually why I had to get back on stage, because I'm in school right now. And that's where my extra time was supposed to be going. Like I said, I'm married and I don't like to take, comedy already keeps me out of the house. And then for me to be in school kind of pulls me away from maybe some mommy, or some house duties that I could be doing. But when he became sick, I really needed to go back on stage for my outlet, for my mental. And I know why I do comedy. And
did you get this? Where did you get exposed to comedy first? Did your parents used to play albums back in the day, or?
My father did. His favorite, of course, was Richard Pryor and my man from House Party. Oh my gosh, that passed away. Robin Harris. There we go. He played them. But and my father, I didn't do comedy until after my father passed. So that was my kind of ride or die, like person I would talk. We would share stories together. And well, actually, what made me exposed to it is my patience. Okay, now I need to give you a little history. I used to be a pediatric nurse, and then I switched over to mental health. After pediatric nurse, I got a gig. I was pregnant with my baby girl that has these multiple disabilities. And so I was working, I did some side job in infectious disease which dealt with the homeless and the LGBTQ community. And that's where I realized that I was on the wrong side. I can make people feel good about themselves, and here these people just finding out they had AIDS or HIV. And in order to get most of their medications, they had to stop using they probably already had some bad habits that needed to stop, because in order for the insurance to pay for medications, they would test your blood in order to make sure that you weren't using these drugs or whatever. And if you find out you have HIV, first thing are you going to do? You're going to run to whatever addiction or whatever thing brings you, comfort. And so it was real hard for these people. And that's when I realized I was on the wrong side. But the doctors let me know. They come in there, they be like, how do you know all this story? I go in there and ask them what happened or what's wrong, what's going on today. And I don't get nowhere near what they tell you. Because I had the doctor already set up and prepped. But, it's the doctor's job to go back in there and reassure what I have told them, or I have said, we're going to do this test, we're going to do this test. And he just, he know that I did my job, that I got the right information, but it's still his job to check off all the boxes. And they be like, I just can't believe they tell you all of that, stuff, embarrassing, but I can't, as a doctor, they won't tell me any of what they told you. And really my patients got me to push me to comedy. And then I make my children write, we all good at basketball, we a basketball family. Matter of fact, my children get together. When my son get home, his friends get together, the high schooler friends get together, and they go to the court. But every year I want them to do something different. We go outside of box. One of my children have done trapeze. One of my children have done rowing. Things outside of normal things Black people do. And so stand-up comedy was on my list for about 3 years. And my smart daughter gonna say, well, I ain't doing mine this year because comedy's still on yours and you haven't done yours. And so that year, I think it was 2017, I went on, signed up for classes, and I've been a comedian ever since. I'm glad she pushed me. My
fault. Go ahead. You was about to answer the question I was about to ask. Go ahead.
My first show, I sold out and everything. And like I said, it's best. I have had some humps in the road, just like I told you last week, just figuring out. I just want to do comedy. I don't want to do promoting. I don't want to have to do kissing butt. I already told you I don't suck dick. So literally, even mentally, I'm not going to do it. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to go places and make people feel good. And that's what and that's what I love about comedy is the smiles that I get from the joy that I know sparks in people's heart and their soul. And like I said, even if it is us talking about something like the P. Diddy situation really could be triggering for some people. But to have them laugh about it some way, somehow, gets it. I went to a Halloween costume party, and you know who won? The bottle of baby oil won the comedy contest for this year.
And that's why I was out that way on last Thursday. I went to Corey Chris's Tacoma Inn Tavern, and I went there for the first time. And I just, I was just looking back because I'm from Aberdeen, a little closer to Baltimore side. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
So I went out there and I was like, man, Wanda Sykes, Dave Chappelle was out here somewhere. And that was just great to see, the smell of the DC air. I'm like, damn, DC produced a lot of dope people.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm glad. So I missed you, but that's why I said Chris is because I believe he has something else to do this Thursday. So I probably will be hosting this Thursday coming up at Tacoma. So I'm sorry I missed you. I was at Fayetteville State Homecoming this weekend. I'm alumni and our third generation. My niece is there representing. And like I told you, I'm daddy's baby. So my father was the first. So yeah, so I'm sorry I missed you, but it looked like y'all had a great time. That meant I saw that Marcel was there and Philip Page was there. So a lot of my Marcel and Phil, we go way back. So you had a good couple of my homeboys there Thursday. Yeah, so I'm glad. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a good time. I like this how the stage was set up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm on like the open mic scene right now. I'm 7 months just getting my foot in.
But that's what you got to do and put your foot in and no telling who's gonna be there in the crowd for your show. You never know who is there. And Corey Chris is such a he has such wonderful bedside manners. He has a passion for what he does, and he does it from his heart. And one day, you'll see once you get comfortable in this comedic scene that what I want to do is bring more love. Like I said, comedy is really a community service. And I really need all comedians to know that, and that we are working together just to make people laugh. And that's it, and that's all. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it to show off or show out on other people. I do it to make people feel good about themselves. And so I just wish you well, Rod, in this industry and everything, and to know that walk your own path. Don't worry about clicking up with people. Go and spread yourself and get yourself out there and different groups of people. There'll be places. I get different reactions, and actually, the other people love me more than our people.
I was about to I was about to say that. I was about this. That's why I call my style alternative black comedy, because it's a lot of
it's about making everybody laugh in this world.
it is, but they want you to they want you to do the spaceship to feed them, and I feel like they sometimes want you to do struggle comedy, and sometimes it might not feel struggle comedy.
You talking about from us or for the others?
For the black people, for the black folks. Sometimes they want you to give struggle comedy, and I don't give that. You know what I mean? I talk about my experiences and going through divorces and split households. But I talk about it from my man point of view. I'm not gonna to do the black queen. Sometimes the black queen's fucked up too. Sometimes we both fucked up.
Yeah. A man, it's interesting you said that. He said it's only two races. He told me the other day. He said it's only two races, male and female. I said, well, the LGBTQ would beg the difference, but okay.
Yeah.
Even if you say that, it's not, they would, because, right, it's not even just female and male anymore. So,
And I got no problems with those people, because I have plenty gay cousins, and I'm not gonna let nobody take advantage of my cousin. I got a joke where I'm talking about I'm gonna have all gay security, because I know I'm gonna be protected. You know what I mean? So I don't got no problem with nobody.
Yeah.
As long as you happy.
Yes, and that's what it's about. And sometimes it is just very disappointing that, Rod, in this industry of us making people laugh, that sometimes we are so uptight. I need you to relax a little bit, boo. I need you to relax a little bit. This is a world of making people feel good. Singers don't do it. They not against each other generally. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like you got your spot, you got your spot. You got why can't we just have that? I need it to be, I don't want it to be because in order for me to support you for real, that means I gas money. I gotta eat while I'm there. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize how much it costs to be a comedian. It
Yeah,
you
it's definitely crazy.
yes,
But it doesn't cost nothing to support each other. It doesn't cost me nothing if I see you have a TikTok account or
mhm.
a YouTube just to hit a like. It don't cost nothing for that. Even if I don't agree with you about your point of view, like that's still
Amen.
support. Like
Amen.
we support every other race. We support the Chinese man to making Chinese food. We support Shaniqua that braiding hair over Southeast DC, but we can support one another. That's all.
And one another despite our differences
Yeah, that's it.
and Rod, it's just like I said, I'm about making people's heart whole. And in
Hmm.
this industry, I did a show I hosted, and it was so much animosity between the comedians about who was top class, who should go last. It's not about that. If you funny, you fun, you know what I'm saying? It's a power struggle thing, and I'm not one for it. So I tend to be on my own. I don't do gossip within it. If you had a problem with somebody, then you had that problem with that person. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it off on other comedians and do that. Just like the comedian I told you that um sexually assaulted me, I have other comedians that perform with him. So from that, I did let that person know that I will continue to support you by taking you because you need a ride. And I will continue to pick you up. Will I stay? No, that support no longer will happen. You know what I'm saying? But I
Hmm.
will continue to pick you up and to bring you home. You find a ride while you there, that's on you. But I will, it was no problem for me to come pick you up, you
Hmm.
know, from that show. But I will continue to support you and be around. And if it's somewhere and you know that I see somebody and I got uncomfortable, you know why I left, you know,
Hmm.
but not for you to think. I know I'm not asking you to leave. I'm just gonna leave. You
Hmm.
know, I'm not putting it off on anybody else, and I can hold mine. But in this, it's just gonna take me a while, like I said, especially because I'm a comedian who does this off of trauma to get past this. Even though I've had some good people in my ear lately who I completely, expose everything to let me, who have watched me from the beginning, and is to say that you ain't get this far for you to stop. I understand what you're going through. I just need you to sit down, come up with your boundaries and what you're going to do, and whatever you decide that makes you uncomfortable, you just have to stick with it. um,
Hmm.
and go. But he was like, for you just to stop doing when you doing and you just killed it. I went to a show. I went to a open mic outside of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
And did I know those people were going to be there? No, no, I didn't. But God, he took me there for that reason because he knew where my heart was going. I don't want to be somewhere else where I'm experiencing this trauma all over again. But then he had to make me realize that I'm strong enough to be able to figure out what keeps me safe and just
Hmm.
pick that up and just go with that.
Hmm. But before we get out of here, can you let the people know where they can find you at?
You can find me. I'm only on Instagram at comedian lady. That is ComedienLady. Comedian lady. My real name is Ayana Osborne. I thank you so much, Rod, and I hope to get to meet you again. If it's not you coming back to Tacoma Tavern, Hopefully, maybe I will catch you on one of your shows and be able to support you, King.
I appreciate that. Again, go check her out. There's been another episode of Rod Uncensored Podcast, and I appreciate you coming on.
All right, take care, King.